Okay, welcome everyone to another episode of O365A. In this episode, we're going to be talking about our year in review and what we're looking forward to. Year looking forward. This is our 26th episode. It's been 1 year since we've launched our podcast and recording and deploying every second week over the past year. So, we're going to talk about what our favorite announcements were this past year and sort of what we're looking forward to in the coming year. So I'll let Michael start us off.
Yeah, my favorite announcements of 2018 were definitely calling plans availability in Canada, and then Teams direct routing. So this is taking enterprise voice or PSTN and just really commoditizing it. So it's making it accessible to all organizations, either by licensing or minimal config, turning on that telephony aspect of Teams. What I'm looking forward to is the advancements of calling in Teams that will surpass Skype for Business Online and maybe even Skype for Business on-prem. So things like group call pickup, shared line appearance, call park, location-based routing. I think there's going to be a lot we're going to see in 2019 around AI and functionality that we haven't had today. Maybe I'll throw it to Curtis. What are your favorite moments?
Yeah, it's interesting just reflecting on a year doing this podcast. I was trying to think what's my favorite thing that was added to Teams in the past year, or even Office 365 for that matter. And I remember when we started this podcast, the stability of Teams and the performance wasn't what it was today. And I remember many of us having a variety of issues. I had the famed lazy firewall, which would drop a video call X number of seconds into a Teams meeting, which has been solved. So looking back in the past year, just the stability and performance improvements of Teams has been really, really good. It's made it a very usable client now, to the point where I actually quite like using it day to day. Not just for all the features, but many of us have multiple tenants and things like switching between tenants. The performance is much better, the stability is much better, and that's in addition to all the wonderful feature improvements in meetings and everything. So that's been great. And looking back, I think one of the announcements I think was most significant was the Microsoft 365 announcements. So that was largely focused on at Ignite, the M365. And I used to think of it before Ignite as just largely a marketing bundle, a licensing bundle that packaged the different Office 365 features and plans and SKUs together. But I realized that Ignite, it's much, much more. So Microsoft is really focused on integrating things like information protection and advanced threat protection across all the ecosystem of applications in Office 365 and Teams included. So I think the combination of bundling that together with the deep product integration is really, really powerful for companies. It's a one-stop shop, one-stop license they can buy. They'll get Windows 10, the client included, and then this integrated product set, which provides security, compliance, and all the collaboration applications. So that was probably the most significant announcment I remember from the last year. And in terms of looking forward to 2019, just the continued evolution of Teams. And a lot of us do collaboration externally with external contacts and federation and guest access. And there's been some limitations in those areas. And Microsoft is rapidly improving it all the time. So just the continued evolution in that regard, in the whole Teams experience, I'm really looking forward to. How about you, Habib? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I guess I'll recap my year as well. I was super excited to start this podcast with you guys. Officially when we started just discussing it and saying, hey, we want to do something, and I loved it because we get to always continually stay on top of things. We get to see each other and speak with each other about these topics on a continual basis. And sometimes it's hard to, stay on top of things as the weeks go by. So it's nice to be able to sort of recap with one another those topics from that perspective. And from the past year, I think my favorite moment was, being at Ignite together, recording the podcast there, understanding what the pulse of Ignite was, and truly seeing the major shift of what happened over the past year from the whole Microsoft ecosystem, not just from within Microsoft Teams, is in seeing the actual change. Michael and I worked at the Ignite 2017 booth, the Skype and Teams booth, and we were seeing a lot of questions there where it was like, okay, well, tell me what Teams is. I don't really understand it. And then this year it was more of, okay, I have Teams. Tell me, how do I migrate off of my Skype for Business, and what else can I do with it, kind of thing. So it was definitely a different mind shift, and I thought that was really compelling to see that happen. And then for 2019, in addition to what Curtis mentioned, I'm excited about that integration from all the Microsoft applications into that Microsoft 365 umbrella, not just truly being a SKU, as he mentioned, but we're actually starting to see those applications being taken from their segregated, silos, and being sort of merged into the global umbrella, I should say, right? And from moving as he mentioned, Azure Information Protection into the security and compliance section for unified labeling and retention in that perspective. So we're already seeing that, and it's currently in preview. So I mean, it's pretty exciting. So I'm looking for that. Amalgamation or migration of all the things into the I guess the umbrella, right? Dina, what about you?
Yeah, I guess for me, the probably the two things that stood out were coexistence and interop. So, we had this idea of, Teams came out, and how does it even coexist with Skype? And so early days, it was a bit awkward. There was some certainly lots of challenges for organizations that were trying to run both. And, there's still challenges today. But the thing that's important is that Microsoft's done a good job in helping customers understand how to progress through this. So, the coexistence interop piece, it's still evolving, and I'm actually, it's one of the things I'm looking forward to improving as well. I think that story is just going to get better until, we're at such a time where the majority of customers have moved beyond Skype and are now using Teams. So that was one certainly for me. And then the other was, the announcement of the Microsoft Teams and Skype for Business Admin Center. So obviously that represented a nice, change in what you're used to in terms of sort of the old Admin Center, and now a nice new look and feel for administrators to be able to go in and modify and adjust settings, all the different things, and bringing in all the different tool sets for both Skype and Teams into a new look and feel admin center. So that was exciting, and that's continuing to evolve as well. And as more and more features get rolled into Teams from Skype, we'll see the legacy portal sort of disappear, and we'll be able to do all our administration from that admin center. And so again, it'll just, for me, I look forward to those continual enhancements and seeing that evolution happen, in the coming months.
Awesome. And I think, obviously we want to share some plans for next year. So we have a few pretty cool podcasts coming out that I hope everyone will enjoy early in the new year. We're also going to be adding in some additional Microsoft 365 focus sessions as well, just to give the podcast some additional content around the Microsoft 365 side of things as well. So I'm pretty excited about that.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
That's Dino's catchword.
You read my mind.
Yeah, it should be a great 2019. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, same here. Looking forward to continuing our sessions together, and thank you everybody for listening in, and hopefully we will catch you on the next episode, and hope everyone has a happy and safe holidays.
And if there's anything certainly you want us to talk about, hit us up on Twitter and drop us some ideas, and we'll see if we can create an episode for it.
Cool.
Awesome. See you in 2019.
Cool. See you guys.